Despite Mayor McDougall not wanting a property tax cut for the CBRM, Councillor Bruckschwaiger forced the issue and convinced other councillors to pass the motion. Hi, I'm Joe Ward of Boxer Shorts Media. If you're a property owner in the CBRM, you're slated to see a small 5% decrease in property taxes, whether commercial or residential. Now, there's an interesting precedent established here. Councillor Bruckschwaiger upended the budget sessions to force the move to reduce taxes right out in front of the rest of the budget talks. It's what rich dad, poor dad might call paying yourself first. Set this aside for us, figure out how we're paying for everything else later. Although his motion was initially deferred, it came back to the floor with the help of Councillor McMullen and it went up for a vote. And it passed. Mayor McDougall voted against it, following the lead of the CAO, who wasn't really in favor of doing it, so Bruckschwaiger for the win on this one. Now, as a quick note, kudos to Ian Nathanson of the Cape Breton Post again. I'm relying on his latest reporting. Once again, the CBRM actually doesn't have the council session online for citizens to see for ourselves. Maybe it's what the comm team might call a lack of resources. But, just 1 minute. Houston, as in NASA headquarters, and probably also the Premier who handed us $15 million more, there's a couple of problems here. Firstly, the mayor received $15 million more, a big jump in CPI or inflation to lift the tax base and increase deed transfer taxes. But she didn't show any interest in letting the citizens of the CBRM share in the windfall. Even though we pay among the highest taxes in the country, we keep the lights on at the Civic Center, or what the uppity folks might call City Hall, it was no dice. But it's not all on the mayor. When Bruckschwaiger got us a token tax reduction, it was cheap and it was poorly implemented. 5% across the board means a small allocation of money is going to reduce the tax bill for some of the largest commercial properties and some of the most affluent homes in Myra and Burdor cottages that you'll find. So you're welcome, Walmart. It wasn't enough and it wasn't targeted. Chief Financial Officer Jennifer Campbell had the good sense to at least suggest that such a small investment might be best focused on the lowest income folks among us. Yes, Bruckschwaiger was right that everyone pays too much, but with a tiny tax reduction, when you try to feed an army with a single pot of soup, we had better get ready to sip from a teaspoon. And we're at the risk of hearing, no soup for you. If I was tasked with making the decision, one compromise might have been rebating only residential properties up to the first $200,000 of home value for your primary residence only, and that would be a little bit more fair and have a little bit more impact. But crafting policy, I can assure you, is not the strong point of the CBRM nor of this mayor or council. So that's it. Bruck won this round, the mayor lost this round, and we got a teaspoon of soup to show for it. But I'm not going to bust them up in Baton Rouge without offering an alternative solution. So here goes. Let's get through this quickly. The $15 million was for the citizens of the CBRM, invested all in us. But the key word is invest. Invested in us. And the only sustainable way to invest in us, when the primary way we keep this municipality afloat is with property taxes, is to grow our tax base. We need to build. And I've explained these options before, so I'll just give you the bullet points. Option number 1 is to get permission from Houston to break the tax cap ahead of everyone else in the province. Do it in 1 to 3 years. But to prevent anyone from getting hit too hard from the increases, invest the entire $15 million in offsetting the increases they might face. The only thing that makes people fear this or want to keep the cap is the fear of paying too much when it's gone. Let's spend the $15 million and eliminate that risk. Option 2 is to invite everyone fleeing the big cities in Canada, looking for a safer province, to come here and to build. Incentivize them. Instead of inviting them to the highest residential taxes in the country, invite them to build their dream homes or cottages for 0% tax right here. Sounds kind of nuts, sure, but it's not exactly. You phase the tax rates back in, all the way back up to the future going rate over about 10 years. And by that time, the tax base will have exploded along with our construction industry, and those rates will be more reasonable for everyone. And option 3 is find a way to do both. But folks, the mayor was wrong to offer us nothing, and Bruck operated with a blunt instrument. The best outcome we received here is a token tax reduction. It's a symbolic move in the right direction, but it is not an investment. You see how quickly they mopped up the rest of our $15 million? Is that okay with you? Let me know in the comments.
Please hang up and try again.